Yes, I know. I missed that stream that I said I was probably going to do. But you know what? I made up for it with a Space Engineers video. Let's fucking go, gamers. Yeah. Eat. Wasn't that cinematic epic? Wasn't it worth the 2 fucking months of waiting? Oh, masterpiece. In this video, I'm going to showcase a little ship that I built very quickly but efficiently. I actually built 2 ships very quickly and efficiently using the new blocks that have been added to Space Engineers, and it turned out, might I add, magnificent. Alright, let's just jump right into it, shall we? So here it is, the beautiful Mino class Corvette. And this ship is designed, as you saw in that cinematic, to defend and destroy any incoming fighters. And it does a pretty good job, and that is helpful because I added these neat little turrets to it. So let's check those out. So as you can see, we have these little turrets right here, and it is super fucking simple. Like, each of these turrets has like maximum 10 blocks or something, not including the components to it. But we have 2 Gatling guns, we have a spotlight, just to, you know, cinematic purposes, it looks really cool. And then the camera that you can actually view out of the turret. And it's just swiveling on a large ship hinge, and it's all connected up. This whole thing is still connected up to the ship. I think I made a video about this, and I'm sure there's a lot out there where you can take a small hinge block, and you can actually put it in the middle of the hinge, and you can attach it, and it will still work like the small ship block hinge thing. But this allows you to like add more precise components. So it was able for me to add a conveyor, to add these 2 Gatling beside it. It looks great. I think it's great. It's super compact. It's actually really hard to hit. After that test, I realized that the ships have a hard time targeting this small area. So they kind of just shoot around it, or they actually may end up hitting the hinge block, which is actually a lot tougher. So we have 2 of these turrets. We have one on the bottom, kind of like nose area, and this can actually probably shoot in front of the ship very easily. And then we have one on the top to kind of protect the top. We also have on the sides of the ship, you may notice, these missile turrets. Now, in the cinematic, they weren't being used because those missiles are specifically used to fight off other corvettes or other ships if it has to. So a ship like the CHONK frigate back there, work in progress, this is just the beta. This ship could actually defend itself against something like that. Not properly used to like destroy the ship, but it may have a good chance. I don't know. I don't think so. And to help with that, it also has a front-mounted missile launcher. So just a nice volley of missile that it can shoot out of the front of the ship. Now, something that I really enjoy about this ship is just the colors I actually decided to use. I used probably like 3 or 4 different kinds of grays. And then obviously with the CHONK blue, I keep going back and forth on what I really like. I kind of like the little pale blue look. So I changed it from this like darker blue to a more pale-ish blue. And then it has the white accents. But these grays, these different and separate kinds of grays that I use on the ship add that much more detail, in my opinion. As you can see, we have this part that kind of jets out, just like a little bit of bulkhead, you know, a lot more is going on in this area right here. You can see in front of my screen. And then we have the lighter gray, which is kind of the belly of the ship. And then obviously the blue signifying like extra armor, a little tougher look. And then if we come to the back, we actually have this kind of reddish, brownish hue to these armor blocks kind of surrounding the engine. Now I wanted to add this because sometimes it gets a little messy. It's funny to say that when you use too much of the same color everywhere. So I wanted to make this darker parts kind of just like an extravagant exposed area, whereas the brown is just kind of like a mechanical, maybe just like a strengthening kind of armor used around the engines, just to give it a little more robust structure too. But we obviously have the CHONK blue wrapped around each engine. Something I'm very impressed with is actually the interior, so I'm going to go ahead and show that to you. Okay, so we are in our character right now. We're just going to open up the airlock, which is one of these nice new airlock blocks. We'll shut that super nice and sealed, and then we'll come over here, open this sliding door. Now we are fully airtight. There's a little bit of air escape there, but that's fine. And if you come in here, this is just like, it's very small because it's a Corvette. So this is the commons area. We can look around and you'll notice that there's kind of like a lounge area slash lunch, food, just the commons area. If we go over to this section right over here, we can open this door, and something that I'm regretting that I don't have in here is actually a med bay. Now, because it's such a small ship, I'd probably just have a med bay and no bunks, or maybe a couple bunks. Maybe I could separate it a little better, but essentially this is where your crew would sleep, and they would just sleep in here. And then before we go down here, we can go into the cockpit. If we come here, you'll notice that we have the custom turret blocks that control those custom turrets that I've built for the anti-fighter capabilities of the ship. And then we have our command seat. So this is where the captain sits, or the pilot, and he can control the ship from here. Now, if we go down to the bottom of the ship, you'll notice it's very dark, but we'll turn our lights off. And this is the mechanical area. So we have exposed kind of these girder conveyor systems, so you can actually see what blocks these are, and you can kind of repair them. Obviously above you can still repair them, but I feel like having a little more exposed makes it feel a little more like some sort of like mechanical area in the ship. So we have 2 gyros on each side, and I believe that's all we have. I think we only have 2 gyros, which is perfect for this size of ship. We have the generator right here. I wanted that to kind of be the centerpiece. We have these conveyors. I could probably swap those out for like maybe cargo containers, just for easy access. Then we have some lockers and an armory block that's placed upside down. My bad. But essentially here you would have all your spare components and maybe pieces to help repair the rest of the ship. I mean, that's pretty much it for the ship, but there's just some key details that I want to just kind of showcase. Now, this ship is obviously symmetrical, like it's the same on both sides, except it does have some asymmetrical parts. And I want to make this a point. It is very, very important to keep your symmetrical ships just a little asymmetrical. And what I mean by that is that if you notice on this side of the ship, we have just a turret spotlight. No real purpose. It just looks cool. It has the option to swivel. I actually fixed its point, so it actually doesn't target anything, has no AI going on, but it looks cool on this side. And on the other side, we actually have the antenna array. So we used a rotor with a small block attachment, and we put the antenna there, because obviously the large ship antenna on these small ships is a little much. So using that down here is perfect. As well as adding some extra antennas, making it a little larger. It's kind of like a mid-size antenna if they had those blocks. I think it works perfectly on the ship, and I really like the look of it. Now, some improvements that I could do on the ship is probably add a jump drive, and like I said before, a med bay. But honestly, just for the size and sake of like ease, I just wanted to make it super simple and actually try a little hard on trying to make the interior pretty good. But that's all I have for today. Thank you all so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this one. If you did, leave a like, comment down below. If you're not a part of the Discord, go to the description, take a look at it, join that shit. It is fucking awesome, and you're gonna love it. Trust me, it's great. I love it. Super proud of the community. Anyway, stay tuned for the days coming. I will be posting throughout them, and yeah, I can't wait to see you then. Been super happy lately. Thank you guys. You're the best. And as always, stay thick, stay chonk. This has been your Lord, playing Space Engineers. Now signing out.